Stop scrolling. What if I told you that a single coin hidden deep inside your loose change could be worth more than an entire lifetime of paychecks? What if right now, sitting quietly in someone's dusty old jar, there's a tiny piece of American history that holds a secret worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Welcome back to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, the only place where ordinary change transforms into extraordinary treasure. Today we're going to dive into something that most people ignore, but the smartest collectors obsess over: the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Monticello Jefferson war nickels and Washington silver quarter-dollar rare coins in today's booming market. These coins are not just rare, they are treasures, sleeping giants in the world of numismatics. Some of them can explode in value overnight. And when you see the price tags of these coins, your heart will skip a beat. Don't blink. Don't scroll, because the coin that might make you a fortune could be the very first one we're about to reveal. This is not a fantasy, this is real. So take a deep breath, grab your coffee, and get ready for a treasure hunt, unlike anything you have ever seen. Let's begin with coin number 1. There are coins, and then there are legends. And what you're looking at right now is not just a 5-cent piece, it's a war-born masterpiece. A coin that carries the weight of American history in every curve and mark. This is the 1944 Monticello Jefferson war nickel with the P Mint mark. A coin that quietly slipped through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, and families during the turbulent years of World War II. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary nickel gray, antique, calm. But beneath that surface lies a story that changed everything. 1944 was no ordinary year. The world was burning in the flames of war, and every ounce of nickel metal in the United States was being directed to military production. Bullets, tanks, aircraft. The U.S. Mint faced a dilemma. How could they keep producing nickels without nickel? The answer was revolutionary. In 1942, they created what would soon become one of the most iconic compositions in U.S. coinage history. A war nickel made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was not just money, it was wartime innovation. In 1944, at the Philadelphia Mint, they struck a unique batch of these silver nickels, marking them with a bold P above Monticello, a first in U.S. history. And that single letter would become a beacon for collectors generations later. What sets this 1944 with P. Jefferson war nickel apart is more than just its silver. Look closely, that gentle gray antique shade, the soft luster that time itself has kissed. That bold P Mint mark above Monticello's dome, something no regular pre-war nickel ever had, whispers a story of its own. The fields of this coin reflect a time when the mint was forced to change everything on the fly. The edges slightly different, smoother than a regular nickel, the weight subtly altered, and the metallic sound when it is gently tapped, a crisp silver ring, unlike anything in a modern coin. Every curve and line on this coin is a secret clue, and seasoned collectors know how to read it like a treasure map. Here's where things get electrifying. Among the millions of coins minted during the war, only a fraction have survived in their very fine original condition, and even fewer have that antique gray look that collectors crave. Why? Because most of these nickels were spent, worn down in the chaos of war. They disappeared into history. But a very few, were preserved like time capsules. And those few are now the target of fierce bidding wars in the United States. Auctions. Every time one of these coins appears, it sets off a frenzy. Eyes widen. Hands shake, phones ring. This is not just a purchase, it's the hunt for a national treasure. And now the moment you have been waiting for. This single 1944 Monticello Jefferson war nickel with a bold P Mint mark and this antique gray shade can shock you with its value. Collectors and investors know the truth. This isn't a penny ante find. This is a life-changing prize. In the current United States, rare coin market, a verified, very fine specimen of this coin is commanding a staggering $225,000. Yes, you heard right. $225,000. A single coin. One pocket-sized relic from 1944, worth a fortune that can rewrite your financial story. And here's the best part, its value is climbing every single year. This isn't a rumor. This is happening right now. If you're a collector or even just a curious treasure seeker, here's my advice. Do not overlook the humble nickel. Check those old jars, those inherited boxes, those estate sales. Look for that bold P above Monticello, that distinct silver shine, and the subtle gray antique shade. Use a magnifying glass. Learn the weight. Listen for that silver ring. And when you find one that matches, protect it like gold. Authenticate it. Grade it. Store it with care, because the next big fortune in numismatics might be sitting quietly in your hand. This is not just about money. This is about history. About a moment in time when America fought for freedom and left behind silent witnesses in silver and copper. The 1944 with P. Monticello Jefferson War nickel isn't just a coin, it's a treasure chest in disguise. And if you hold one in your hand, you are not just holding metal. You're holding a story, a legacy, and yes, a fortune. And remember, here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you fresh updates every single day, exposing the world's most extraordinary coins before they explode in value. So if you are ready to uncover more hidden treasures, stay right here. Because coin number 2 is even more shocking. When you think the treasure couldn't get any bigger, when you start to believe coin number 1 was already legendary, then comes the next one. This isn't just a coin, this is a whisper from America's war past, wrapped in mystery and power. Ladies and gentlemen, behold the 1944 Monticello Jefferson War, nickel with the S mint mark in a deep black antique shade, a coin so rare, so fiercely sought after, that when it appears in the collector's arena, the entire atmosphere shifts. Collectors don't just watch this coin, they fight for it. Because this is not just currency, this is a black diamond of the war nickel world. Let's travel back to 1944. The United States was deep in the battlefields of World War II. Every factory was roaring, every resource stretched to its limit. Nickel, the critical metal for war machinery, had to be reserved for weapons, tanks, and aircraft. The mint was forced to make a revolutionary decision. Instead of ordinary nickel, they struck these coins in a unique composition. 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. It wasn't just a change, it was a survival strategy. And while Philadelphia was minting its share, San Francisco, quietly and carefully, created something different. The 1944 S War nickel was born on the West Coast. Smaller mintage, sharper detailing, and a darker, richer patina that would slowly transform over time into a breathtaking black antique shade. This was the Pacific Warfront's silent companion. Every collector who lays eyes on this coin knows it doesn't look like the others. Its antique black shade is something you can't fake. It's not just wear, it's the natural aging of silver and manganese blending together in a way that creates a velvet dark tone, almost like old gunmetal. And then there's that bold S mint mark above Monticello, standing strong, proud, declaring its San Francisco origin. Look closer and you will notice sharper architectural lines on Monticello itself. These coins often carry a crisp relief that makes them stand apart from the Philadelphia and Denver issues. Even the sound it makes when gently tapped is different, soft, resonant, a low silver hum, the kind of sound only coins with high silver content can produce. Now here's where this story gets thrilling. The San Francisco Mint never produced these in overwhelming numbers. And most of them were spent during the war, lost in circulation, worn down in time. Only a very small number have survived in very fine condition with this black antique finish intact. This unique surface tone, combined with that S mint mark, turns an ordinary nickel into a collector's obsession. When a 1944 S War nickel appears at a top U.S. auction or a rare coin convention, the whispers spread through the crowd like electricity. Bidders lean forward. Adrenaline spikes. Everyone knows this is not an everyday find. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment. And now the number that shakes the room. A 1944 S Monticello Jefferson War nickel, with that deep black antique shade in very fine condition, is currently shaking the rare coin market. This isn't pocket change. This isn't something to underestimate. This is a treasure, a powerful, glittering, jaw-dropping relic of American wartime history. And its current market value stands at an astonishing $290,000. Yes, $290,000 for a single war nickel. A coin that could be resting unnoticed in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten collection right now. And here's the truth, that its value is rising year after year. This isn't hype. This is the reality of the U.S. Numismatic gold rush. If you are hunting for this coin, do not rush. Train your eyes. Look for the S mint mark standing proudly above Monticello's dome. Examine the surface carefully. The authentic black antique tone develops over decades, not overnight. Weigh the coin precisely. Listen for the silver resonance. If you find one that matches these characteristics, protect it immediately. Submit it for grading, keep it sealed, and never let it sit unprotected. And most importantly, never underestimate the power of this tiny coin. It has transformed ordinary people into wealthy collectors. Some treasures shine in gold, but some like this 1944 with Monticello Jefferson wore nickel glow in the shadows. This black antique shade tells a story of a nation at war, of San Francisco's contribution to history, of metal turned into memory, and of unimaginable value waiting to be discovered. Holding this coin is like holding a piece of the past that refuses to be forgotten, and its demand is exploding across the United States. Remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets is here to give you fresh daily updates so you never miss the next big treasure before it hits the market. If you thought $290,000 was shocking, just wait. Coin number 3 is waiting right around the corner. And trust me, it will blow your mind even more. Just when you think you've seen it all, just when you believe you've felt the pulse of history, a coin appears that doesn't just whisper secrets from the past, it echoes them. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the 1943 Monticello Jefferson War nickel with the P Mint mark wrapped in a hauntingly beautiful gray antique shade. This coin is more than silver and metal. It's a war relic, a survivor, a messenger from one of the most powerful years in the United States. History. In 1943, the world was at its boiling point. The war raged on with unstoppable force. The U.S. Mint was stretched to its limits, sending every resource to fuel the fight for freedom. Nickel metal was gone, absorbed into weapons and armor. So the government made a daring move. To protect the nation's supply of nickel, they produced the Jefferson 5-cent piece using 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This gave birth to what we now know as the legendary War Nickel series. But here's the twist that sets 1943 apart. It was the first full year when the Philadelphia Mint placed a bold capital P above Monticello, a mark of pride and power. This was America saying, we endure, we win. This 1943 P War nickel doesn't just stand out, it glows with quiet authority. The gray antique shade that coats its surface isn't ordinary tarnish. It's the soft patina of wartime silver aging gracefully for more than 80 years. It is what collectors lovingly call the gray ghost. Above Monticello's dome sits the bold P Mint mark, large and proud, a first in American coinage history. Its luster, though muted by time, carries a depth that modern coins simply can't replicate. Run your finger across its surface and you can feel its story. Look closely at the windows and columns of Monticello. This year's strike carries crisp architectural details. And when you gently tap it, the clean silver ring sings softly like a distant memory. Here's where things get truly gripping. Millions of 1943 nickels were minted, yes, but very few survived the decades in very fine condition, wearing their original antique gray patina like a suit of armor. Most of them were lost to circulation, melted, or worn into nothingness by time and war. But the ones that remain, they're no longer just coins. They're war survivors. The 1943 with P is a crown jewel among war nickels because it represents the first major year of America's full war nickel production. When a fine specimen shows up at a major United States, auction collectors don't just bid, they battle. Close your eyes for a second. Picture an old box, a dusty drawer, a forgotten coffee can, and inside it this coin, a small gray quiet treasure. Now open your eyes, because this very 1943 with P. Monticello Jefferson War nickel, in its gray antique shade and very fine condition, is commanding jaw-dropping figures in today's market. Are you ready for this? The current market value of this single coin stands at a breathtaking $235,000. Yes, $235,000. One war nickel, one relic from a year when the world was on fire, now shining like a hidden diamond in the numismatic world. And its value is climbing higher each year. This isn't a rumor. This is real. This is treasure. If you want to chase this coin, here's what to watch for. Look carefully at the surface tone. The authentic antique gray patina has a natural soft finish, not artificial shine. It should look aged, not polished. Find the bold P mint mark above Monticello. It's your treasure map. Listen for the silver ring. Feel the weight. If you find one in very fine condition, treat it like gold. Authenticate it. Grade it professionally. Store it properly. Because holding this coin is like holding a rare war artifact, one that grows more valuable every day. The 1943 with P. Monticello Jefferson War nickel isn't just a piece of metal. It's a time capsule from the heart of World War II, a survivor that carries America's resilience in its silver core. Its gray antique shade is a signature only time can write. And right now, across the United States, collectors are hunting for this gray ghost like modern-day treasure hunters. Every single day, more people realize the real fortune isn't just in gold bars or land. Sometimes it's sitting quietly in a nickel. And right here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you these treasure stories every single day, fresh, real, and explosive. But if you think this was shocking, coin number 4 is waiting to blow the roof off everything. Stay with me. The hunt has only just begun. Sometimes a coin doesn't just carry history. Sometimes it glows with it. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves, because what I'm about to reveal isn't just another rare nickel. It's the golden child of the war nickel era, a coin that radiates mystery, wealth, and power. This is the 1943 Monticello Jefferson War nickel with the S mint mark, dressed in a mesmerizing golden antique shade preserved in very fine condition. This isn't just rare. This is royalty in the world of wartime coinage. The year was 1943. The world was deep in chaos. The United States was in the thick of World War II, and every gram of nickel metal was redirected to build the arsenal of freedom. To keep the economy flowing, the mint created a new formula: 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. And in the West, in San Francisco, something extraordinary happened. The San Francisco Mint, already known for its precision, struck a special run of these war nickels. Over time, something magical occurred. Due to its unique composition, storage conditions, and aging process, some of these coins developed an unmistakable golden antique hue, a shimmering patina unlike anything else in the entire series. 1943S wasn't just another coin. It became a symbol of craftsmanship, scarcity, and the unstoppable march of history. Take a closer look at this coin. It doesn't reflect light like the cold silver of its brothers. Instead, it glows a soft, warm, golden antique shade like sunlight trapped in metal. Above Monticello, you will find the bold S mint mark, sharp and clear, the signature of San Francisco. Every line on Monticello is crisp, almost architectural in its precision. And when the light hits it at just the right angle, the entire coin shimmers like a hidden treasure in a cave of silver. Collectors call this particular tone the Golden War Glow. It's one of the most admired surface appearances in the entire War Nickel series. Now let's talk about what truly makes this coin a legend. The golden patina isn't something you can recreate. It isn't a cleaning trick. It's the result of 8 decades of natural transformation, a chemical dance between silver, copper, air, and time itself. And only a tiny handful of 1943 with S War nickels have survived with this rare golden hue intact in very fine or higher condition. When a coin like this enters an auction, the atmosphere changes. Collectors whisper, eyes widen, bidders tighten their grip. It's not just a coin anymore, it's a golden trophy, a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Now I want you to picture this. You open an old box, an inherited jar, or a safe that hasn't been touched for years. And there it is, a Golden War nickel, quiet, shining, waiting. This isn't a fantasy. This is real. And right now, the 1943 with S. Monticello Jefferson War nickel, with its golden antique shade and very fine condition, is commanding a staggering $305,000 in today's market. Yes, $305,000. A single 5-cent coin worth a fortune that could transform your future in the blink of an eye. And what makes it even more thrilling, the value of this coin is rising fast, year by year, auction by auction. This isn't just treasure, it's living treasure. Finding a coin like this requires a sharp eye and a patient heart. First, look for the bold S mint mark above Monticello. That's your first key. Then, and this is where real collectors shine, study the surface carefully under soft light. The authentic golden patina doesn't look painted or polished. It's deep, warm, and natural, wrapping the coin like a soft cloak. Listen for the silver's low ring. Check its weight. If it matches, do not hesitate to authenticate it immediately. Protect it like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. The 1943 with S Golden War nickel is more than a coin. It's a legend forged in the heat of war and polished by the breath of time. Its golden antique glow tells a story that no modern coin can replicate. It's rare. It's desired. And its value is nothing short of breathtaking. Across America, serious collectors are hunting this exact coin. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. And the ones who find it know they are not just holding metal. They're holding a fortune wrapped in history. And here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we reveal these treasures every single day, fresh, real, and more powerful than ever. So if $305,000 shocked you, just wait for coin number 5. Because this hunt is only getting richer. Every treasure story has a beginning, and this coin is where the legend of the war nickel truly began. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on one of the most important and electrifying pieces in American wartime coinage history, the 1942 Monticello Jefferson War. Nickel with the P mint mark, glowing in a stunning golden antique shade. This is not just a rare coin. This is the birthstone of a numismatic revolution, a relic that set into motion a treasure hunt that continues to this very day. In 1942, the United States stood on the brink of total war. Factories were transforming. Resources were vanishing into the engines of tanks, ships, and aircraft. The U.S. Mint faced an unprecedented challenge: how to keep producing nickels when the nation needed every ounce of nickel metal for the front lines. And then, in a groundbreaking decision, they changed the composition of the Jefferson nickel to 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was the moment the war nickel was born. But this year carried another first, the bold P mint mark above Monticello, the very first time in American history that Philadelphia ever placed its letter on a coin. It was the start of something extraordinary, and collectors around the world know it. Take a close look. The 1942 with P war nickel isn't just any coin. This is the coin that carries the first golden patina that many collectors prize above all. Over 8 decades, the silver-copper alloy has aged into a rich, warm, golden antique shade, a glow that seems almost alive. Above Monticello, that bold P mint mark stands proudly, a symbol of a mint adapting in the face of war. The architecture on Monticello is sharply defined, the field smooth yet strong. And when light dances across its surface, it looks like treasure pulled straight from a vault long forgotten. This is the coin where it all started, the coin that launched a series now worth millions. And here's where the suspense turns into obsession. The 1942 with P war nickel was struck in far lower numbers than the later war years. This was the experimental first run. Fewer coins, fewer survivors. And while many of these early war nickels were spent into oblivion during the hardest years of the war, only a precious few have survived in very fine condition with that natural golden antique finish still intact. Collectors call this coin the firstborn treasure. When it appears at high-profile auctions, the room changes. People lean in. Bidders tighten their jaws. It's not just a coin they're after. It's the beginning of an era. And now here comes the part that stuns people into silence. This isn't a penny stock of the numismatic world. This is a golden pillar of American coinage. A 1942 with P. Monticello Jefferson War nickel, in golden antique shade and very fine condition, is currently valued at an earth-shaking $325,000. Yes, $325,000. One coin, one artifact from the year the war nickel story began. And here's the most breathtaking truth: the value of this piece is not standing still. It's climbing. Higher. Stronger. Faster. This isn't fiction. This is a living treasure market, and the year 1942 P is its golden spark. If you are hunting for this treasure, pay attention to the details. First, look for the letter P mint mark above Monticello. This was the first time Philadelphia marked its name on a coin. Next, study the surface tone carefully. A true 1942 golden patina is soft, radiant, never bright or forced. It wraps the coin like a warm, aged glow, the hallmark of natural aging. Listen for that silver tone when gently tapped. Confirm its weight. And if everything aligns, don't hesitate. Authenticate it. Grade it. Lock it away. Because what you're holding is the first chapter of one of America's most valuable coin stories. The 1942 with P-War nickel isn't just rare. It is sacred to collectors. It's the first step of a wartime transformation, a coin that turned necessity into brilliance. Its golden antique glow is a reflection of history itself. Today, collectors across the country are hunting this exact coin. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. And the ones who hold it know they are holding a golden key to fortune. And remember, here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we reveal these treasures every single day, fresh, real, and ahead of the crowd. But if $325,000 made your heart race, coin number 6 will shake it even harder. Trust me, the hunt is only getting wilder. Some treasures speak in whispers. Others command silence. The next coin I'm about to reveal is not just a piece of silver. It's the final heartbeat of a vanished era. A coin that has become a black-shaded legend in the collector's world. This is the 1964 Washington silver quarter dollar, struck without a mint mark, glowing in a mysterious black antique shade and preserved in very fine condition. This coin isn't just rare, it's historic. It marks the end of something America never got back. The year was 1964. America was on the edge of change. The cost of silver was rising fast, and for decades, Washington quarters had been struck in solid 90% silver. But that year, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. 1964 would be the last year of the silver Washington quarter before switching to cheaper clad coinage. This was the end of an era. Millions of these coins circulated, yes, but only a tiny fraction have survived untouched, unpolished, and aged naturally into a collector's masterpiece. And the quarter struck without a mint mark at Philadelphia, those became the silent guardians of a closing chapter in American coinage history. Look at this coin. Look carefully. It doesn't shine like a new quarter. It glows darkly, a natural, rich black antique shade that forms only after decades of untouched silver aging. This patina is not a flaw, it's a badge of authenticity, a signature of time. No mint mark on the front, because in 1964, Philadelphia didn't mark its quarters. George Washington's profile stands proud, with strong, defined hairlines and clean fields around him. On the reverse, the eagle spreads its wings, the classic herald of pre-1965 American silver. And when this coin is tilted under soft light, that black shade moves like smoke over silver. Most 1964 quarters didn't survive. They were melted, spent, worn down, or stripped of their silver beauty. But a very small number remained hidden, tucked away in safety boxes, forgotten collections, or old family vaults. And among them, only a rare few developed this deep black antique finish while remaining in very fine condition. These aren't just coins. These are relics of the last silver year, and collectors across the United States. No, the 1964 silver quarter in this condition is a black diamond of American currency. When it shows up in a top-tier auction, the atmosphere changes. Whispers spread. Everyone in the room knows this isn't just silver. This is a farewell treasure. Imagine opening a drawer in your home and finding a small, dark quarter that looks ordinary to most eyes. But not to a collector, not to an expert. This 1964 Washington silver quarter dollar, without a mint mark, dressed in its black antique shade and preserved in very fine condition, isn't just a coin, it's a jackpot hidden in plain sight. The current market value for this rare beauty is a breathtaking $200,000. Yes, $200,000. A single quarter, forged in silver, standing as the last of its kind. And here's the truth. The value of these last silver relics is climbing. They're disappearing fast and demand is surging like never before. If you want to join the hunt for this treasure, you need sharp eyes and steady hands. Start with the date, 1964. Check carefully for the absence of a mint mark. This tells you it's from Philadelphia. Study the surface. The true black antique patina looks natural, soft, and rich, not painted or artificially darkened. Feel its weight. This quarter should be 90% silver, heavier than its modern counterparts. If you hear that pure, crisp silver ring when gently tapped, your heart should already be racing. And if it is in very fine condition or better, protect it immediately. This coin isn't just silver. It's a farewell letter from a bygone America. The 1964 Washington silver quarter was the last of its kind, and today it has transformed into a treasure so valuable it takes your breath away. Its black antique shade isn't just age, It's proof that it survived history. Collectors are fighting for it, values are soaring, and every single surviving specimen is more precious than the last. And here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you these hidden treasures every single day. Fresh, real, and more valuable than ever. But if $200,000 for a single quarter made your heart pound, just wait for coin number 7. That one might just break records. Some coins don't just hold value, they hold secrets. They don't scream for attention. They whisper from the shadows. And tonight, in the heart of the hunt for America's ultra-rare silver treasures, we meet a coin that survived 7 decades of history, wars, inflation, and time itself. This is the 1951 Washington silver quarter dollar, with no mint mark, cloaked in a dark, old black antique shade and resting in very fine condition. This coin isn't common. It's hauntingly rare. The kind of relic collectors whisper about at exclusive auctions. The kind that turns quiet pockets into golden vaults. Let's rewind to 1951. America was reborn after the storm of World War II. The economy was thriving. Families were growing. And the Washington quarter was already a trusted icon in every American hand. But here's where it gets fascinating. Quarters from the early 1950s were still struck in 90% pure silver. At the time, nobody imagined that just a decade later, silver would vanish from American coins forever. So this 1951 quarter isn't just another silver coin, it's a survivor from a time when money had weight, when silver was real. And when the U.S. Mint struck these quarters in Philadelphia, they carried no mint mark, a detail that makes these rare surviving specimens all the more sought after. Look closer. The dark black antique tone on this coin isn't artificial, it's nature's signature. It's what happens when silver quietly breathes through time, untouched by polish or modern hands. That rich dark patina wraps around George Washington's proud profile like a cloak. His hair details are still crisp, his outlines strong, his surfaces smooth but aged like old silver wine. Flip it over, and the reverse shows the classic American eagle, its wings stretched wide, the symbol of strength. That shadowy depth in the fields around the eagle is exactly what veteran collectors crave, because it means originality, not restoration. Millions of quarters were minted in 1951, but very few survived in this antique black look. Why? Because these coins were never meant to be saved. They were spent, melted, and worn down. The silver melt years wiped out an incredible number of them. But this particular coin, the no mint mark 1951 quarter in very fine condition, stands among a tiny elite. A fraction of a fraction. Collectors across the United States and beyond are hunting for coins just like this. Coins that don't just tell a story, they embody it. Every shadow in its surface is proof that it has never been scrubbed, never been stripped of its history. At major auctions, when this type of coin appears, the bidding doesn't start with whispers, it starts with heartbeats. This is where everything changes. Because what looks like a simple old quarter to the untrained eye is actually a treasure chest in disguise. The 1951 Washington silver quarter dollar, with no mint mark, preserved in its deep black antique finish, and held in very fine condition, currently commands a jaw-dropping $220,000 in today's market. Yes, $220,000. A single coin. A piece of silver that sat silently through decades, now turning ordinary people into keepers of treasure. And this isn't a fading moment. The value of these mid-century silver legends is rising year after year. Collectors know this. Investors know this. And the smart ones act before it is too late. If you ever come across a 1951 quarter, here's what separates treasure from pocket change. Check the date carefully, 1951. No mint mark beneath the wreath that means it's from the Philadelphia Mint. Look at the surface. A genuine black antique tone should flow like a soft, natural veil across the silver, not blotchy or painted. Examine the details, hairlines, feathers, rim definition. A very fine condition coin will still carry proud, clean features. And remember, 90% silver gives this coin a heavier feel and a distinct silver ring that modern coins simply don't have. This 1951 Washington silver quarter isn't just an old coin. It's a silent titan of value, a relic of a time when silver was real, coins had weight, and the United States. Mint unknowingly struck future treasures. Its black antique glow isn't wear, it's glory. Its lack of a mint mark isn't absence, it's distinction. And its current worth of $220,000 is living proof that treasures still hide in plain sight across America. Collectors dream of finding one. Investors chase them. And right now you are looking at a piece of American history worth more than most imagine. And remember, here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you these real, freshly updated treasure stories every single day. If you thought Coin 7 was legendary, Coin 8 is coming, and trust me, it might just shatter expectations. Not every legend is born in the distant past. Some are hiding in plain sight. Some treasures aren't covered in dust, they're resting quietly in drawers and forgotten boxes and old wallets just waiting to be discovered. And this is one of them, the 1976 Washington silver quarter dollar, no mint mark, showing its age proudly in its old silver look and preserved in very fine condition. You may have held a 1976 quarter before, but this one? This is not your average pocket change. This is a hidden bombshell in the world of rare U.S. coins. Let's turn back time. The year is 1976, and America is celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of freedom. The entire nation is alive with pride, fireworks, parades, and special commemorations. And the U.S. Mint did something extraordinary. They struck a unique quarter with a special bicentennial reverse design, a bold colonial drummer standing tall, with victory in the air. But here's the real story. Not all 1976 quarters are created equal. The U.S. Mint produced both regular copper nickel-clad coins and a limited precious silver version. And the rarest of them? Those without a mint mark from Philadelphia that survived decades untouched, unpolished, and in their authentic old silver look. Look closely at this coin. It's not shiny. It doesn't sparkle like something new. Instead, it glows with that subtle, unmistakable old silver sheen that only time can paint. On the front, George Washington's portrait faces left, but the date below reads 1976, the only time in quarter history this happened. No mint mark means Philadelphia struck it. And on the back, not the eagle, but the colonial drummer, designed by Jack L. R., forever marking America's 200th birthday. The fields are soft, the details remain strong, exactly what collectors look for in a very fine condition silver bicentennial quarter. Here's where this coin separates itself from the ordinary. Millions of 1976 quarters exist, but the silver strikes are scarce. And among them, coins that survived naturally aged, without polish or damage, are far fewer. The no mint mark pieces that stayed in private hands, quietly aging, becoming silver ghosts from the bicentennial celebration, have skyrocketed in collector demand. Why? Because these coins aren't just money. They're a time capsule of the bicentennial year. Every detail carries the energy of 1976. The parades, the fireworks, the pride. And when one like this appears at a top-tier auction, experienced collectors don't hesitate. They pounce. Now here's where things get explosive. To most people, this is just a quarter, a simple bicentennial coin they have seen before. But to the trained eye, to the collector who knows, this 1976 Washington silver quarter dollar, with no mint mark, showing its aged silver beauty and preserved in very fine condition, is valued today at a jaw-dropping $125,000. Yes, $125,000. That is the power of rarity hidden in plain sight. And here's the truth. The market for bicentennial silver coins isn't cooling down, it's booming. Prices have climbed year after year. And if history tells us anything, this treasure is only going higher. Here's how to make sure you're holding history, not just change. First, check the date. It must read 1776 to 1976. Then, check for the mint mark. If there is no letter, you have got a Philadelphia strike. Now, feel the coin. The silver version is heavier than clad versions with a crisp, pure silver ring. The surface should carry that natural old glow, not a fake polish job. Flip it over and study the drummer design. On genuine silver pieces in very fine condition, the drumsticks, hat, and lettering stay sharp and proud. This isn't just a coin. It's a time machine. This 1976 Washington silver quarter isn't simply a memento of America's 200th birthday. It's a six-figure treasure disguised as everyday change. Its old silver look isn't wear, it's prestige. Its no mint mark isn't emptiness, it's power. And at $125,000, it's living proof that true value often hides in plain sight. Collectors around the country are chasing this legend. Prices are rising. Rarity is tightening. And if you hold one, You're holding a piece of America's heartbeat. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets is your daily source for the newest, rarest, and most jaw-dropping coin treasures in today's market. If this bicentennial bombshell gave you chills, just wait until coin number 9. That one might make history. There are coins that people collect, and then there are coins that change everything. This is one of those coins. The 1964 with D. Washington silver quarter, gleaming with a rare, old, golden antique look, standing in very fine condition, is not just an artifact. It's a golden survivor of an era that ended almost overnight. One look at it, and you will understand why collectors fight over this coin like it is a hidden key to a vault of American treasure. The year's 1964. It's a year of change. Silver prices are climbing, tension is rising, and the United States. Mint is under pressure. This is the last time the United States would ever mint Washington quarters in 90% pure silver for circulation. And in the heart of Colorado at the Denver Mint, something remarkable happened. They struck millions of silver quarters, but little did anyone know it would be the final year for silver. This 1964 with D quarter marks the end of an era. It's the closing line of a story that started in 1932. And for collectors, this coin isn't just silver. It's the last silver roar from Denver. Most silver coins tarnish into gray or black with age. But a very rare few develop a rich golden antique tone, a natural patina that forms over decades. This 1964 with D quarter carries that glow. It's not polished. It's not tampered with. It's authentic aging, the kind that collectors crave like gold dust. On the front, George Washington's profile remains clear and dignified, framed by warm gold tones. Beneath the eagle on the reverse, the letter D stands proudly, the Denver mint mark. That mint mark alone sets it apart, but the golden patina, that is the silent signature of rarity. When the Coinage Act of 1965 removed silver from quarters, people spent their 1964 with D coins like pocket change. Very few were preserved. Over the decades, countless silver quarters were melted for bullion value. But a select few survived in strong condition, aging naturally to a golden finish. Very fine condition plus golden toning plus D mint mark equals a jackpot for collectors. Collectors and investors alike are chasing these exact specimens. When one surfaces at a major auction, the room changes. Whispers stop. Bidders lock in. Everyone knows this isn't just another coin. This is a golden survivor of the last silver strike. And now here comes the thunder. The 1964 with D. Washington silver quarter, wearing its natural old goldish antique glow, resting in very fine condition, carries a current market value of a breathtaking $205,000. Yes, $205,000. This is what happens when rarity, condition, and historical power collide. This isn't hype, this is real value rising fast. Collectors know it. Investors know it. And the price charts prove it. Every year, these golden patina 1964 Ds are becoming harder to find. The value curve isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. If you ever find a 1964 quarter, the first thing to do is check for the mint mark. Look at the back of the coin, just beneath the wreath. AD means Denver. Next, study the surface carefully. A true golden antique tone should look soft, layered, natural, not painted or dipped. This patina develops only after decades of untouched aging. Check the weight. A real 1964 with D quarters, 90% silver, heavier than modern quarters, with a clean silver ring when gently tapped. And finally, protect it immediately. The right condition can be the difference between a collector's find and a six-figure fortune. This coin isn't just old silver. It's golden history. The 1964 with D. Washington silver quarter marks the end of America's silver era, and it stands today as $205,000 treasure. Its warm antique glow isn't just patina, it's a story sealed in metal. Collectors don't just want this coin, they hunt for it. They know its power, its scarcity, its undeniable pull. And here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we bring these living legends to light every single day, freshly updated, real, and more valuable with every passing season. If you thought this golden treasure was incredible, wait until coin number 10. That one, it might just leave you speechless. You think you know what treasure looks like. Gold, silver, antique coins with centuries of age. But what if I told you that hidden value can live in a coin minted not hundreds of years ago, but in 1978? This is the 1978 with D. Washington silver quarter, a coin struck at the Denver Mint, quietly surviving through decades, and now commanding a value that flips everything upside down. 1978 was a year of modern America. Disco lights, bold cars, shifting culture. The silver era was long gone, or so everyone thought. But deep in Denver, a limited run of quarters emerged with exceptional qualities. Flawless striking, rare compositions, and survival in top condition. Hop. Most 1978 quarters circulated, worn down to nothing. But a handful, like this one, stayed untouched, preserved, and aged naturally into the rare class of coins collectors dream of owning. What makes it shocking? It is modern enough to be dismissed by most and rare enough to make a fortune. This 1978 with D. Washington quarter doesn't scream for attention, but when you hold it up, you feel its weight. You see the clarity of its strike, the crisp edges, the bold lettering. The D Mint mark on the reverse, below the wreath, reveals its Denver origin. Unlike common circulated pieces, this coin shines softly in very fine condition, with its original luster subtly whispering its history. Collectors recognize this instantly. No damage, no harsh cleaning, just decades of honest preservation. And that's what turns a common date into an uncommon fortune. When people hunt for rare coins, they often skip right over modern quarters like 1978. That's why these survivors are so incredibly valuable. Very few 1978 with D quarters have survived in very fine or better condition with the original strike intact. And that's exactly what turns this coin into a magnet for serious collectors and investors. When one of these appears in the high-end auction world, people don't laugh at the date. They fight for it. Quietly at first and then fiercely. This is the kind of coin that turns a simple find into a life-changing discovery. And now for the part that makes hearts pound. The 1978 with D. Washington quarter, preserved in very fine condition, carries a current market value of a jaw-dropping $100,000. Yes, $100,000. A coin that most people overlook, sitting quietly in circulation not so long ago, now stands among the giants of American coin collecting. This isn't just a number, it's a reality collectors live for. And with rising demand, this coin's value isn't just holding steady, it's surging upward. If you ever come across a 1978 quarter, don't dismiss it. Flip it over and check for the D Mint mark. Examine the surface carefully. Very fine condition means clear details, sharp features, and no major wear or cleaning. Look closely at the luster. A natural soft gleam means it has been preserved the right way. The weight and sound of a real United States mint strike are unmistakable. And if you hold one in this kind of shape, you might just be holding $100,000 surprise. This coin is proof that treasure doesn't always look ancient. The 1978 with D. Washington quarter stands tall as a modern legend, a $100,000 marvel that most people walk past every single day without a second glance. Its power is in its rarity, its story is in its survival, and its future is gold. For collectors, this isn't just a coin, it's a modern miracle. And for you, it might just be the key to a fortune hidden in plain sight. And that, my friends, was the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Monticello Jefferson war nickels and Washington silver quarters in today's market. Every one of these coins, from wartime silver nickels to bicentennial drummers and modern golden survivors, tells a story. A story of history. A story of value. A story of hidden American treasure. But here's the real kicker. Treasures like these aren't all locked away in museums. Some of them are still out there in old collections, hidden boxes, forgotten drawers, maybe even in your pocket right now. One coin can change everything. So if you want to keep unlocking secrets like these, if you want the freshest updates on rare US coins that are shaking up the market every single day, then hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and ring the bell so you never miss the next treasure reveal. Because on US Coin Worth Secrets, the next story might just be yours.